Yes, I. Thanks for tuning in again. Welcome to Crystal Delphia. This is Black Sun, and you are once again now in tune on the One, the Force itself at this time. Today's reasoning session is brought to you today by the Shiva Lingam Stone. Today's reasoning session is a reasoning session for my sisters, and it will be called Message to the Black Woman. And I know there's been many different lectures and books with this similar title, Message to the Black Woman. Seen? This is a message or a reasoning session for my sisters, all my Aboriginal sisters worldwide. Ye that has an ear, let her hear, or let him hear, what the Spirit says to the Church of Philadelphia. See? Now, everything that we've been taught in their universities and brainwash academies is pretty much a lie. Everything that we've been taught in their educational system has been a lie. And what's going on at this time is that all the lies that has been taught to I and I brethren and sistren is now being exposed, and all of the fallacies are being debunked. This is a time of exposure. See, it's good and it's bad. It's good for those who are seeking, and it's bad for those who do not want to be exposed. And if you ever watched the movie End Time with Justin Timberlake, at the end of the movie, everyone was given back their time, and within getting back their time or their original time, or symbolic for being back on the right time continuum, it collapsed the system that they were enslaved under, because in that movie, currency was time instead of money, as we know it. We live off of money now. In that movie, it was all about time. Seen? But the symbolism within the movie, what collapsed the system was when everyone was given back the abundance. They weren't enslaved by time. See? So that's what's slowly happening now. There has been a leak, and the leak has slowly burst a hole open, and now is a big gush of water flowing out, and eventually the tank of lies will be empty because everything has been leaked out. So there are a lot of brothers, I wouldn't even say a lot. There are a few brothers out there putting out the information and exposing the lies and debunking the theories and putting out the awareness that we need, or what is coming back to us at this time. Right now is all about remembrance. We have a lot of knowledge, Black people be kicking knowledge, dog. I done heard the deepest stuff for some black folks, but now it's time for awareness and enlightenment for those who are seeking it. Everyone's not seeking that, and that's cool. So there was a time period where there were no kings, no queens, no pharaohs, no emperors, and no rulers. whenever you have rulers, use the word king for the lack of better words. Whenever you have someone ruling over you with their government, that means that there is a system of haves and have-nots. There are people who are at the bottom of the class system. There are people who are at the top, and I guess you would call the middle class. The only way natural Aboriginal people need to be governed over is to take away the abundance that we already had and control this abundance, and now you dish out this abundance through the pharaohs and the kings and through the dynasties. Scenes where originally Amatu, Mother Earth, gave everyone abundance, and everyone could eat, have land, and prosper. And when everyone has abundance, we do seem to get along in harmony, and the environment is more harmonious to nature and the divine. Sometimes I get Porky the Pig on you guys and start stumbling over words, but this is a language full of fuckery anyway. You know, excuse my French. But walk with me. We're gonna reason here. You know, this is the message to the black womb on. See, the black womb on, or womb man. I gotta laugh, guys, because what I'm about to say might sound far-fetched, and it might just sound totally crazy, and it might just sound like total blasphemy to those who have been misled. But most, and I've said this in other reasoning sessions, but I never really went in that deep, but most of your male deities or male gods per se, Yahweh, Jehovah, Krishna, Buddha, Jesus, the list goes on and on. There's so many different Obatala and all these different male creators. See? And this is secret, so I don't expect you guys to really, like, you know, embrace this to be true. You know, I want you to challenge this and challenge everything I say, because that's what I do. I challenge everything I hear. So, and I go research to see if it's true or not, or have some type of substance of truth within it. And then I come up with my own perception. So, yes, at Christadelphia, we promote being a free thinker. You already know. So, all of your male deities or male gods are representations of the Great Mother, Creator, cloaked and disguised as a man. Because there was a time period where we, for a lack of better words, I'm going to use this word even though I don't like to use it, but I'm going to use it. We used to worship, quote unquote, pay homage to the womb. All cosmologies around the world and pre-dynastic, and when I say pre-dynastic, I don't mean just pre-dynastic Kemet, and pre their story, the cosmologies around the world were all centered around Amatu, also known in many different cultures under different names, but it was a mother-centered cosmology. Seeing it was a understanding that we all come from the womb. So if you want to call it womb worship, I guess you can use that word, for lack of better words. But, that was your original so-called religion. Before celestial luminaries were personified into male deities. Seen? By the time, and I hate to say this, your male gods, even in Africa, Amen-Ra and Obatala, before all of these brothers came on the scene, I'm not taking away from their greatness, but I must tell you that there was a time period before that where it was all about the womb. So, just like they say, all cultures around the world, when you study world culture, have taken from the cultures that existed previously before them, or their predecessors, they taken ideas and ideologies from their ancestors, and they put it in their own twist, or what we say today, they twerk it, and they make it relevant to their culture that exists then and there now. Just like we live in the now, back then they lived in the now then, but they're now, that now wasn't this now. See? We're always living in the now. So we take from our ancient ancestors and we take their cosmology, but we spin the cosmology in our own twist, and we put our own slang, and we as indigenous or aboriginal people always put a spin on language, and we always put a spin on what you call what's the word I'm looking for? We create slang from language. See? And around the world, we've always put a spin on that which existed before us. So, is it true, if that is true, that, Hindu or Brahmanism has taken from something that existed prior to Brahma or Brahmanism? Could they have taken ideologies and concepts from their ancestors before Brahma was even spoken of? So some would say, oh my God, this guy's a Hindu. I've been called a Hindu or whatever. I've been called everything under the book. So just because you see me paying homage to a yoni, I am only using the yoni image to embrace the womb or the energy behind. It's always deeper than an image, guys. Always know this. You might see an image, but what does the image represent? That is the vibration or the frequency, the womb itself. See? So, there's many different symbols. You use a Vesica Pisces or whatever. There's so many different symbols that represent the womb. So this was the one that I chose. Of course, this is not Un Amatu, but this is the portal that I've used to channel that energy. See? So anyway, I know that was a long-winded anyway, let me get back to the point. Uh, what does this have to do with anything? Rastaman, are you crazy? So yes, I used to pay homage to the womb in secret and like really like behind doors and closet, like it was something I was doing wrong because of the immaturity of common mortals and their lack of awareness. So in their perception, it seems like you know, for to use the terminology the ignorant man would say, it seems like I worship a pussy or a vagina. You know, that is for those who lack understanding. So now let's go in. Let me reason with you guys. Let me set the record straight on you guys one time, see, and let you know. This is the root of all of your modern day religion. And you will find, as I reasoned with you guys before, if you really go deep into the esoteric side of your own school of thought, you will find some type of principle of the womb hidden within inside of your cosmology. See, what happened was this, guys, and I'm going to make it simple for you. We worship the womb, and these male patriarchs came in and they created the cosmology in the image and the likeness of them. See? And because, cosmology, where you have gods and goddesses and things of that nature, and these things are also representations of, one, organs in your body and things inside of your body, and two, there are also representation of celestial luminaries, so that we can find the connection between the above and the below. Thy kingdom come on earth as it is in heaven. See? So when you study the esoteric side of your own school of thought, you will find that a lot of the symbolism leads to things that you could find, or glands that you could find inside yourself. And they're also connected to celestial bodies or luminaries or constellations or whatever you want to call it up there, what you think is up there. See, now there was a brotherhood that was created to keep this information hidden from the masses, and these kings and leaders all kept this sacred cosmology for themselves, and they gave you something else to believe in, something else to worship. They gave you something else. They kept the symbolism hidden within inside of your own religion. But these priests and these ones that are high up, supposedly, they know the truth. And the illuminated ones, supposedly. Now, they say these people are supposedly Illuminati. And on the internet, you hear people talk about the Illuminati all day. But these people are not first, they don't have any light. They're not illuminated. But these so-called illuminists all know this to be true. And they can go within inside of any of these schools of thoughts and cosmologies and use the symbols that exist within it, because they know it all has the same thing hidden within inside of it. Just like, and I reasoned with you guys before several times, people go to pay homage to the Kaaba stone, and that is nothing but the Kaaba stone is a yoni. Now, my sisters, they use you and your energy as a vessel to perpetuate this false system or this false reality. They use the energy of the Aboriginal woman or the black woman, whatever you want to call yourself, African, Moor, all my original sisters. They use you as a vessel to keep this system afloat and perpetuated. And at this time, they can't do it anymore. They gave us our Malcolm X's. They gave us our Martin Luther Kings. They gave us our black male leaders. And then they turned around and showed you that they ain't worth nothing for you, because we'll take them all out for you. Excuse me. They'll take all of your black leaders out. They'll assassinate them all. And the only thing we ever seen on Black History Month was just images of all of our black leaders being assassinated. How long shall they kill our prophets while we stand aside and look? Now, back to what I said earlier. All of your male deities are representations of the womb, disguised as a man. Now, I have to put a little emotion on this so you could, you know what I mean? Because I don't want to bore you guys. You're like, oh my God, this guy sounds like C. Freeman L. I love C. Freeman L. to death. But yeah, he could put you to sleep sometimes. And it's funny how I turned into the brother. Far as like his vibe, his tone, you know what I mean? But I can understand it now, you know, because I used to be real fiery. You know, I went from Malcolm X to C. Freeman L. on you guys. So, anyway. What am I trying to say here? Because I know a lot of you guys are probably trying to figure out, what's the point, bro? What are you getting to here? Here's the point. For all of you red, black, and green flag carrying black fist activists, the unks and your Africa chains and all of this talk about roots and culture. See? All I heard about was roots and culture, roots and culture, roots and culture, roots and culture. Coming from those who supposedly are into their roots and their culture. But when you go when you go back to your roots, even your roots before you was kings and queens, and created this false illusionary system so that we can rule over other black folks and other tan folks or whatever. We created this system, black people, because we wanted to be kings and queens. We wanted to take away from the abundance that everyone had when we didn't need kings and queens. Because Unamatu gave abundance to everybody for everyone to be ruler of themselves and, you know what I mean, take care of their tribe and their clan. And everyone lived in abundance because there was no need to have a class system where you have haves and have-nots. This system wasn't even created by your white man that you guys been complaining about all these years. They just learned how to manipulate the system because we taught them. See? We created it. Some would say, oh man, this guy's delusional. There was always war. There was always bloodshed. There was always kings and queens and the rise and falls of kingdoms. No. Everything has been lost when they burned down or supposedly burnt down the Alexandria libraries to hide pre-dynastic world history. See? Like I said before, as you see the amber the amber beads I got right here. All of your fossil stones will help you tap into those Akashic records, so you can not just do cross references with information from books and the internet. You can also cross reference with nature herself to see what nature, or what you guys call Mother Nature, who is truly Unamatu, says about the earth. And you can go to, like I said before, you call her Mother Earth. Now go to Mother Earth and ask her questions. See what she has to say about this planet. God damn it. You know what I'm saying? So, what's the point? There's a lot of people sounding so deep and metaphysical and philosophical and quantum that, you know, I can understand how it's easy to get caught up in a whirlwind of fuckery. See? You don't know who's who on the internet. Everybody sounds like they know something. You know? So, what's the point, Rastaman? All of the priests wore robes, as I reasoned before. These robes represented the mother goddess. When you really check and you go back to the time when there were gender wars, where man was fighting for his position in society, man wanted his place to be known. He looked around and said, well, what about us? Just like women in, you know, recent history had to fight for their rights in society. There was a time period where men felt like they didn't have any type of, you know, control. So what they did, they took control. They created a brotherhood. They changed the cosmology from the great goddess to men. Yeah, they had women too, you know, so you had your man and your male and your goddess principle. There's nothing wrong with that. Not taking away from anything, you know. But the system that they created to hide this truth and this knowledge is the root or the original cause of which created the system that you see today, that we blame the pale man for, or the white man, or whoever, the Tamahu. Which we also created. See? So, go back to the root. Seeing if you really want to go back to the root, don't go back to ancient Kemet. I've been told y'all reason with you guys before. There was a time before the Nile Valley. But not all that glitters is gold. Half that story ain't never been told. So now you see the light. See? So what you do? You stand up for your rights. I reason with you guys 1,000 times on the fact, not the idea, but the fact that we come from the center of the earth. We come from the womb. So I give thanks for all of my brethren out there that is trying to ride this energy that's coming from Amatu, whether you are aware of it or not. She is speaking to us. So, when you check your symbolism out, go and do your research. Go start looking into the symbolism behind these male gods. You will start to even see that some of these male deities kind of look soft. They look a little feminine. They look a little sweet. I hate to say it. Go look at these images yourself. Go look at Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna look a little soft. He looks a little feminine. What is it that they're trying to hide? They're trying to hide that they're using the male image. So he has to be a little feminine and he has to hold on a little bit to that goddess energy, because the ones who truly know that They're just a representation of the mother goddess, cloaked as a man. So all of your male gods that came before you were just men who represented the mother. They weren't the mother, of course. I know you Rastaman gonna hate me for this one, but this is the truth, and this is the time to hear it. Not all that glitters is gold. Half that story ain't never been told, and now it's being told. So don't stone me when you ask for it to be told. Rastaman. Haile Selassie, His Imperial Majesty, gave us the signs and symbols of the mother goddess within his hand signs. This symbol is in one culture called the Yoni Mudra. The Yoni is the symbol for that Vesica Pisces, or that womb that we all come from. See? His Imperial Majesty was the last king, the last ruler, bringing an end to the concept of even needing a king in the first place, okay? Bringing an end to the pharaoh worship and the worship of man. He gave us the signs and symbols that we needed to bring us back to the mother. See? So if all the other gods were men cloaked in representing the mother, remember I said there was a time period where man changed all of the cosmologies around the earth and created the mother goddess and the cosmology and the image and the likeness of a man. That is your secret, black woman. This is the message to the black woman. And I'm going to give a message to everybody. The message to the black man, the message to the youth, the message to the world. You see, this is not an effort to save the world, because you can't put a band-aid on Babylon, see? But I can reason with you guys and let you know what's going on. Seeing ex Rastaman if I'm trying to kick knowledge? No. I'm trying to show you some things that you can apply. So when you see His Imperial Majesty throwing up those hand symbols of the womb, later on down the line, little Rastaman, the little Rasta babies picked up on it and they researched, and we fell when we even needed to have a king rule over you in the first place, or a queen rule over you in a kingdom or a dynasty. We created the system when we went from being vegan and having a vegan lifestyle to having a lifestyle of eating meat, where you need someone to hunt the food and get the food for you. When we changed how we ate and went from vegan to meat, this might sound crazy, because I'm guilty. I'm guilty of, relapsing and I eat a piece of chicken. I'm not even speaking as a 100% vegan, because sometimes, listen, I'm half human and half etheric being myself, see? So, but the point is, I'm a wannabe vegan, in my heart I am a vegan. I want to be there, and sometimes, I fall short. I fall short of the glory of veganhood, you know what I'm saying? But anyway, I was a vegetarian at one point, you know what I mean? But then I fell off. But, I have my ups and downs. So anyway, the point is, what I can say is I'm guilty. So I'm going to talk about everyone else who's guilty too. Check this out. When we fell from eating what's his name? Brother Sanchez broke this down in his lecture. His story, from his story to her story. You know what I mean? And he did like 1,000 joints on his story to her story. Like he got 1,000 lectures just on that. I'm not here to lecture with you guys. I'm just here to reason. See, so go check out his lecture. He could break it down a little more thoroughly than I can. I'm not here to break down anything, and everything's already been broken down. See, I'm just here to reason and show you what's going on and where this energy is coming from. And why do you have brothers like Brother Sanchez busting his ass to put this information out there? Because he's riding off of this energy here. He's another man that the mother is using as a vessel. So now it's time for the woman. It's time for women to be talking about this, okay? You know, men love to run with the black woman as God concept so they can get laid. I've seen it. I've seen astro pimps. I've seen, you know, these red, black, and green, now volley pimps use astrology and all types of, half-truths just to get, a name for themselves or the label as this master teacher so they could get some comedic pussy, okay? Let me tell you something, bro. I don't even show my face on these videos. So, I'm not even, this is not about even me and the person giving the message, see? But I am a man, see? And I'm showing you the image of the womb and not using myself to represent this. I'm not using the pharaoh image to say, hey, look at me. I'm a cool-ass pharaoh. I'm taking all the energy away from, the attention away from this. Do your research, y'all. Go back. Go back to the roots. So for all of y'all that's kicking at roots, this predates your voodoo, okay? Before we started eating blood and eating flesh, we didn't have the sacrifice of blood and cutting goats and cutting chickens and in our cosmology. We had a vegan-based cosmology. So why would we on one hand, we didn't eat meat, but then to turn around and cut chicken head off and cut a goat? We didn't start doing that until we started eating the shit. See? So we already fell in so-called consciousness by that time and created cosmologies that was I guess in cahoots with our diet. If you eat chicken, you might want to sacrifice a chicken. But if you don't eat chicken, why would you want to cut? So, for those who want to say that voodoo and Ifa and all these things are our original cosmology and religion, no, they have taken principles from their ancestors too. But we haven't gone that far back to the root. So no, I'm not a Hindu. But I take from all schools of thoughts because I know that all of them gods came from the mother. I know Abraham, Buddha, all of them came from the mother. So I can step up into any of those cosmologies and use them like a obeah man. They say, oh my God, Rastaman's an obeah man. Hey, Ras, go back to the root. Do your own research. Stop going by what the next Rastaman said. Become a free thinker. See? So, you have to really do some research, guys. And I know this reasoning session is a little long-winded, and I probably lost like half the people that was watching it. Like, oh man, fuck what this guy's saying. But I had to do it for the record. YouTube is the new record keeper, and I'm not even doing this here for a bunch of YouTube viewers. Everybody does videos for viewers. But I always know that the masses are always a bunch of fucking fools. Excuse my language. The masses are always misled. And there's always a small group of people who are enlightened in these days of time. See? So, you know, black woman, I just gave you your seat back. It's all about you. Even that Eastern Star in Freemasonry is a black woman standing on her head. See? So I could really go in and go hard and explain how man has fucked up the world, and woman has let it happen. Now it's time, you know what I mean? And when a woman does pick up this information, please don't run with it like a feminist. Just bring down the man. We already been told we done fucked up everything. In our own household, in our own family, that, oh, you done fucked up. Every time a man turn around with some woman telling him how he fucked up everything. But truth is, facts is, I hate to say it, and I'm a man myself, but men, we have fucked this world up. And they are using the woman to perpetuate the fuckery. Because we don't care about nothing but, I hate to say it, but man don't care nothing about this, even when he not conscious or awakened or anything. So they use it in reverse. So, it's time to wake up, y'all. Unamatu is calling. She's speaking. You know, so you, if I was you, I would want to get on the nice side of Mother Earth. Because, you know, there's the other side of the earth that you don't want to mess with. Anyway, you are now in tune on the one, the force itself at this time. Yes, I.